Welcome back, Nerd Squad. Thank you for joining me today, where we get to explore the lovely world of Disney. So lovely, so family friendly, and more importantly, explore what Disney refuses to explore because it is too dark, scary, or mature for them. Sure, they're going to keep Deadpool at an R rating, but how many of us are terrified that they will find ways to make it less gruesome and more PG? Are you as worried as I am? And who are your favorite scary characters from the Marvel universe? Let us know in the comments below. Alright, let's review what we fear Disney will be too afraid to touch. Gasp. Number 10. Silver Surfer. While Silver Surfer is a strong and powerful hero, I feel like he may be considered too scary in regards to the choices he has made in the comics. Silver Surfer first appeared in the comics in the Fantastic Four series in 1966 and was created by Jack Kirby, the same guy who also gave us the Eternals. Norrin Radd was actually a pretty normal and sweet dude living on Zen-La, a peaceful planet which in many ways was like a paradise. Until one day Galactus came a-knockin'. Norrin requested a spaceship so that he might go out and meet with this invader and see what it is they wanted. When he found out what Galactus wanted was to devour Zen-La to feed his insatiable hunger, he made a deal with Galactus. He agrees to become his herald and help him scout for planets to devour that were uninhabited, in exchange for Galactus' word that he would not harm Zen-La. Galactus agreed and Norrin was transformed into the Silver Surfer. The scary part of this hero involves him losing his love and his homeworld when, as a result of getting his powers, he lost his memories. That and the fact that he does pretty awful things in his time as Galactus' herald. He even knows how terrible those things are, but he still does them, because he has to. Though there is a rumor we may get a film from Disney about Silver Surfer doing Galactus' bidding, this seems like just a rumor. His somewhat villainous path may make him too risky of a character for them to take on. Number 9. WALLFLOWER. In the same league as Star Fox, WALLFLOWER is a mutant and member of the New Mutant Squad who can influence people using pheromones. But where Star Fox usually uses his power to bring about pleasure or make others fall in love, WALLFLOWER has been seen using her powers to do that and then some. She even caused Quentin Quire to feel suicidal and made him kill himself in the events of House of M. And although she struggles to control her powers, which often makes her less alarming than Star Fox in terms of her writing, pheromone powers just seem like something that could be too scary for Disney when it comes to implications around consent and control. Number 8. Brother Voodoo. Brother Voodoo made his comic debut in Marvel's Strange Tales issue 169. You might think that the Hungan doesn't deserve a place on this list. He isn't that terrifying after all. He is a voodoo priest who can use magic and even at one point replace Doctor Strange as Sorcerer Supreme. So there is a window through which he could be introduced in the MCU in Strange's film franchise. And while he is rumored to be joining the MCU in Doctor Strange 2, I'm not holding my breath. Jericho Drum has after all frequently fought such ghouls as zombies and vampires, and this subject matter itself may be too scary for Disney. After all, they like to keep things pretty family friendly, and I'm not sure if little ones could handle the kind of undead that he normally comes up against. Beyond that, the MCU seems to have already arbitrarily killed off his brother, Daniel Drum, without seemingly introducing Jericho at all. Granted, this could be a different Daniel, as this one seemed to be an American who worked to help guard the Sanctum Sanctorum in New York in the Doctor Strange film. But then, why not just name him anything else? Number 7. Wolverine. We've seen so many Wolverine films over the years, but with Marvel finally getting the potential to bring the X-Men into the MCU, the question becomes, who will they choose to introduce from the famous team of mutants? I am personally concerned that when it comes to attempting to keep things PG, Wolverine may not make the cut. Wolverine is known for being violent, reckless, and animalistic, and often isn't the greatest role model for younger mutants in terms of how brash he can be. He often sees the world through a very pessimistic lens. A lot of this is due to his lengthy origin story, which involves a little sprinkle of just about every horror you could imagine. From his mutant powers taking effect, to killing his biological father, to being raised by wolves only to have all of them murdered. Bringing the truth of this character to the screen without major rewrites seems like it would be too much for Disney. Definitely not the type of content they're used to making. Beyond that, if they did choose to drastically change the character, it would end up a horror story for us fans. Don't do it. Number 6. MARROW. What's more scary than a man who ejects claws from in between his knuckles? A woman who shoots bone darts out of her body in an attempt to kill you. MARROW originally belonged to the underground mutant group the Morlocks, famous for harboring mutants who are a little too scary looking to dwell on the surface. MARROW's ability is that she can control the growth of her bones, growing them through her skin to create an armored exoskeleton, so to speak. She can break off extra bone and use it as a weapon, or she can shoot it through her skin as a projectile. All in all, she seems like a hero who would be too gruesome for Disney to have appear. Number 5. Morbius. If you agree that Brother Voodoo's zombie battles might be considered too scary for the MCU, then you'll definitely be agreeing with me on this one. Morbius was a brilliant hematologist who was working hard to cure a rare blood disease that he suffered from. Unfortunately, the cure he concocted turned him into a vampire. Since his transformation, Morbius has flip-flopped in terms of being seen as a villain/hero and has had to struggle with his thirst for blood. He also just looks like something out of a horror comic. And if you thought the Hulk had it bad with his monster complex, just wait till you meet Morbius. Granted, you will get to meet him in the film Morbius coming out in 2020, but this film is not with Disney, it's with Sony. Number 4. The Thing. A steadfast core member of the Fantastic Four, you might be surprised at the Thing's appearance on this list, especially if you are familiar with me and my strong wishes and hopes that we will get to see the Fantastic Four join the MCU, but I'm also a realist. And while it would be amazing to see one of the oldest Marvel superhero teams around join in on the fun, I'm skeptical that it will actually get to happen. Part of that is due to the monstrous look of the Thing and occasionally the nature of him. I'm not just talking about the Thing here, but I'm also talking about Ben Grimm, who can sometimes be a gruffer character. Ben Grimm has also often been presented as someone who struggles with depression, and someone with a lot of self-loathing. His monster complex also extending that of the Hulk's. And you know what might scare off Disney from this character? His suicidal tendencies. Number 3. Ghost Rider. Okay, so we might get Johnny Blaze in the MCU. He's dangerous, but iconic. And we did get Roberto Reyes in the MCU Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but you know who we won't see anytime soon? Alejandra Jones's Ghost Rider. At least, not unless they retcon some of her backstory. She was born to a human trafficker and an unknown woman and was sold off like all of her other siblings. This story could have got a lot more dark from there, and it sort of does. She ends up at a temple where she is trained to become a Ghost Rider who is intended to be used as a tool to eradicate all sin from humanity. Which sounds pretty nice, but would ultimately leave humans emotionless and mindless as a result. Not so good. When she refuses to go through with the plan, she is enslaved and is forced to use her abilities against her will to follow through with the plan. Fortunately, Johnny Blaze gets a space bike and is able to help her out of the mess. Space bikes for the win. Number 2. Sentry. Robert Reynolds has a pretty dark past and origin story. While I would love to see the hero adapted for the silver screen, I'm not sure if Disney are the people to do it. He was originally a heroin addict who stumbled upon the Golden Sentry serum that transformed him while he was breaking into a lab searching for his next fix. This is a character who has a multiple personality disorder, and we are not talking on the same level of Moon Knight here, who suffers from the same disorder. The Sentry's second personality is a villain, and his superhero side cannot exist without his more evil personality also existing, the Void. He is also sometimes presented as an agoraphobic who is terrified of going outside, and at one point he thought he had killed his wife. Roll all of this together and you get something that is too dark and too scary for Disney to handle. Number 1. HELLSTROM. Damon Hellstrom is known for being Satan's son in the comics. Yeah. Whether he is the son of the Satan or not has yet to be determined, but he is definitely the son of a demon. If that isn't enough to get you blacklisted from Disney's hero list, I don't know what is. Despite being born the son of the devil and obviously possessing darker powers as a result, Damon uses his powers for good, not evil, or he usually tries to. He actually is the ruler of a dimension of hell and has, get this, powers fueled by his dark soul. Yeah, like the game. Still, the appearance of his character might be enough to scare off Disney. He was born with an upside down pentagram on his chest and often likes to fight crime without a shirt on, so you're gonna see that pentagram. Also, his sister is literally named Satana. Yep. Thanks so much for watching, Nerd Squad. I hope you enjoyed this list. Who are you hoping Disney will bring to the MCU next? Do you agree that these characters are too scary or not? Who do you feel we left out? Spark a debate in the comments below. And while you're down there, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that bell, and give this list a share. Sharing is caring. This has been Top 10 Nerd, and I'm your host Amanda McKnight, reminding you, as always, to stay nerdy, YouTube.